Hello, everybody. You're welcome to this episode of Unscripted Motherhood. And I'm super, super excited because today I'm not doing it alone because I'm doing it with my friend and my sister from way back. Okay. It's basically a chit chat and it's our reality because we're literally on different sides of the world and we're having a conversation about something that's affecting us, which is why we're on different sides of the world. And if you're a mom, you're a parent, a guardian, you're in the diaspora, this is something you've faced. And yeah, we just want to talk about it, have a chat, and hopefully share a lesson or two for you to pick from. So I have on the other side of my screen the beautiful, delectable, amazing Dr. Wanda. I call her Dr. Wanda. And she's Dorcas Akinlade. You're welcome to Unscripted Mother.
Thank you. So for a minute, I was feeling like a guest speaker in a church, and
Oh
I
yeah.
just was like, so stop. Yes, please stop, but continue.
I know. It's all that and more. I mean, because as much as this is like a chat, it's unscripted, but it's still important, right? And I'm very excited. I mean, Dorcas is the first guest on this series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, she
Clock
really
it,
deserves
everybody.
it.
All the guests come behind. Clock it.
Oh my. All right, okay. We've not started and you can already feel the energy. Okay. All right, but we're having a conversation about, raising your children without your village, and wherever your village is, it basically means that you're in a place where you don't have instant access to, say, your parents, siblings, community, and you're having to navigate life, work, marriage, parenthood in this system. For me, it's a reality. For Dorcas, it's a reality. And for many other moms and dads, this is their reality. So we just want to talk about it. But before we get into that, I'll let Dorcas introduce herself and then we'll get into it.
Thank you. First, I want to say kudos to you for creating this type of platform where people can come to share and even learn as well, especially about motherhood, which is a very important area of parent life, even a woman life, whatever the case may be. So kudos to you for creating this beautiful platform for that. As well as, of course, kudos to you as well for rocking motherhood, still being able to bring on all the different impact to the community. So myself, my name is Dorcas, of course, and I'm a finance professional. I'm a student of life. I am also an entrepreneur. I also like to talk about finance management, especially to young adults. It excites me so much to talk about finances, budgeting, savings, and investments. So that's one of the things that you might probably see me more on social media, and of course my recent venture, which is Daisy Gift Shop, where mostly it's a craft shop. I do a lot of DIY and I package it as gift for people and also sell it. So you can check it out. I'm sure in the course of this podcast, you might into more details around that. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you, Dorcas. Of course, she's married. And of course, she's a mom, the most beautiful, my goddaughter. So, I mean, Dorcas is everything she said and more, and I know her personally, so I can say that definitely we'll definitely share links to all her profiles in the description, even so you can access it and connect with her because of the stuff you're gonna be hearing. But thank you, Dorcas, for the beautiful introduction and interestingly how God has brought us through our journeys. We both went to uni together, well, almost together, lived together for a long time, and now we're both married, and by God's grace, we have children, and we're in different parts of country. We're both in the diaspora, but in different countries, isn't it? And it's just interesting how God has brought us, and with motherhood, there's so many things in terms of like what we expected versus what we saw. So for everyone joining, again, I'm just going to recap. This is Unscripted Motherhood. We have real conversation, real stories about life, married, motherhood. So today we'll be diving into Dorcas' story, how she's dealing and living without a village. And so we're going to my first question to you today will be that, you know, how you're thinking about motherhood before marriage and now you're doing motherhood after. How is that looking like? Especially that you're doing it in your diaspora. How has that been for you?
Honestly, I would say maybe the impressions I've had of motherhood prior to getting married is probably from experiences of people around me, or
Mm-hmm.
even, for example, in my own immediate family as well. Seeing my parents, of course, raised me and my siblings,
Yeah.
and of course, how that relationship is with my mom, or I see mothers in the community. I would say one thing that I always do sometimes when people give birth, especially when young moms, oh, maybe it's their first kid or something,
Yeah.
and then after a while, I'll be like, oh my God, this woman, she's getting lean. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Child
Mm-hmm.
must really be draining her.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that always impressed on my mind, right? Parents get
Mm-hmm.
married,
Yeah.
but getting into it and having my own child as well. And I could see the work that go into it. And then because before I'll be like, oh, does it mean they're not eating well? Are they okay?
Mm-hmm.
Why is she getting lean? Now I could see because the work is a lot. So yeah, if they get lean, it's probably because of the work they're doing. And
Mm-hmm.
when I mean lean, maybe they're not looking like fresh or around their neck, because that's usually my definition of lean, right? Oh, their
Okay.
neck, and neck is getting longer. I hope she's feeding well. Are they okay? I'm always bothered that way, but getting into it, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of work here.
There's a
So
lot of work. There's a lot of work.
yeah.
Yeah. So realizing that, okay, it's not about my baby's cute.
Yeah,
Even
yeah. It's beyond seeing the cute baby. If you even know the kind of worry and even concern that goes behind the scene before they are able to see that cute baby, like, oh, why didn't you do the hair this way? Oh, why didn't you?
Mhm.
This one you're looking at, do you know how how long it took
I
me?
like it too. Oh my, oh my. I remember now, when we went to my baby's registration, the one where you registered their birth.
Yeah.
And we went and took him there, and then the lady at the reception was like, "Oh, it's so cute. I just wish I could have a baby now." It's not just about, very cute. It's about the work that really goes into it. And really, I resonate fully with that because I'm not sure I ruminated so much on what motherhood would look like, to be honest. And now that I think about it, I'm just like, I'm just learning the ropes per day. And
Yeah.
some days I'm asking questions. Mother, like, didn't you know that? I'm like, oh well, I'm not sure. I'm just learning the ropes. I want to get into something we talked about. This is going to be an exclusive
Yeah.
or unscripted motherhood. So before we get into the whole like how you're navigating it and what that's been like for you. So do you want to just bring us on into like your pregnancy journey? I believe that every pregnancy journey is sacred and beautiful in its own way. So tell us about it, what it was like, how you navigated it, and all of that.
Yeah, for me, I would say it kind of went by really fast. I'm grateful to God for I would say I'm quite blessed. I didn't
Mhm.
have a lot of complications, and it went by really fast for me. And then the only thing that I discovered early, especially early in pregnancy, I think I could only take warm water, and,
Mm,
and it has to be with lemon. And because I
mm,
had to be taking my iron supplements,
yeah.
it was really tough for me,
Mm,
because right early I was asked to start taking iron supplements, so it was hard. Most times I will feel nauseated trying to just take the supplement, because naturally
yeah.
I don't like taking medicine. It would be so difficult to take it, and of course I know, the doctor already told me, if you don't take it, this is important, blah blah blah, and all those things. So it was like a chore I have to do every day. And even at some point, it went from just one tablet or a specific type. I had to take like multiple in a
Yeah.
day, and it has to be daily. So that was one of the tough seasons, I would say. And my husband, sometimes I would even like commit, and my husband would just be there just to take care of me and everything. And then I think another part would be not being able to satisfy my craving. Oh my goodness, I really miss that. Oh my gosh.
You were already in the diaspora when you were pregnant.
Yes, I already
Yeah.
tried. Yeah. And then, so what I resorted to was I learned different recipe because I had to do it by myself. So
Right.
I learned how to make a ojojo.
Mm.
But I would say the suya I've done so far, the best was during pregnancy.
Wow.
Telling you, because I became like a pro of everything. So yeah, and then it went by really fast. Other things are maybe other food didn't really crave them that much. So I think the only thing I wanted was Nesty as well. So if it's not Nesty, I will not take it. Like
What's Nesty?
Nesty is like a type of soda drink actually. So for
Okay.
example, if we're at events or gatherings and they are sharing stuff, I'll just be looking for Nesty. Where's Nesty?
Oh.
So yeah. Yeah, really, I'm just grateful for God. So that was pregnancy for me.
Yeah. So that's interesting because even from like I feel like motherhood is not necessarily just like when you birth the child. It's
Yeah.
already starts from like your pregnancy journey, and there's a difference between when you're like pregnant in your home country. So Dorcas, for instance, in Canada, I am in the UK, and before I came to the UK, I was already pregnant, so I was able to satisfy some of my. I remember I would be going to work. I would take a bus to Amoke. I will buy amala in the morning before going to work. Yes. And then I won't be able to eat the amala actually. I'll just eat like 2 scoops and then I'll eat the meat and I'll book it over to the office. Literally, I'm serious. I couldn't eat that much. That's my first trimester. I couldn't eat that much, but that amala, and
Yeah.
then when we were going to church, I was my husband to buy me akara. This man's junction, he will buy the akara.
What?
I will take him with us to church and I will eat it and delay.
Oh my goodness. That
So I
sounds
mean,
fun though.
actually, so when you do that at home and then you're not at home, you're pregnant, you imagine having those cravings. And I understand how you have to create your cravings or less. How is it
Yeah.
gonna be?
Because in fact, I was also new in the country, right? So I didn't know so many places. Yeah. So I would just prefer to do it by myself. And of course, my food stock was still fresh that I brought from Nigeria. So there was a lubo and everything. Okay. I think I'll just do it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
At some point when I was cooking different things, I'm like, wait, I can't just be cooking all this and not let people know I'm cooking. So I created this kitchen. So that was what
Yeah.
led me to create that. Like,
Oh.
wait, people must know that I'm not a suya expert.
So this is not related to motherhood, but it's still related to the diaspora. In my case, I realized that there's some things I'm cooking here now that I
Yeah.
probably didn't cook back home a lot.
Yeah.
For
Do you know my
instance,
friend said that, right? So I was having a call with her. I mentioned that I have oporoko. I'm putting oporoko in soup. I'm like, what?
yeah.
I mean, I don't even do all of those stuff.
I just realized that I'm making like banga soup a lot more here.
Yeah.
I'm making like a roll with real like vegetables here.
Yeah.
I don't make them back home like that.
Babe, if I make a photo for you, oh my
Hey.
gosh, hey God, hey,
Look
I'm
at
not
that.
like queen of ogbono. I
Oh
know I
my
mix
god.
it. You know I like all this orishi before.
Yeah.
I'll mix ogbono with okra. With okra, I will still
Mm-hmm.
have to find one leaf to put inside it. I don't want to say the leaf on the air in case the people will say that leaf is wrong. But when I put it in banks.
Oh my, but that's so good. That's so good. And if you're in the diaspora, you tell us in the comments one of the things you've noticed when you move. But we'll just get into questions about raising kids in diaspora. So what has it been like for you now? You've raised your child for well over 2 years, right? In the diaspora. How has that journey been? If you were back home, you would have the support, of course, of your mom, of the family, of your church community, of people coming around. Versus now, how
Yeah.
has that journey been, right? And you would then tell us what is one thing that surprised you the most about raising your child without your extended family close to you.
Okay, so one thing is I'm always very careful, right, when we're talking about raising kids without our village because sometimes it tends to us being entitled, right? And then
Mm.
but like you are the one that gave birth to your kids, right? Especially
Mm,
modern age, right? And people like, if you know you're not able to take care of a child, why give birth to a child, right?
mm,
Or sometimes it's a very thin line when, especially people in the diaspora, are complaining about raising kids without their village. But being that we're Africans and we are people with community, that's
mm-hmm,
something Africa is very rich in,
mm-hmm,
that community vibe. Even people that don't know you, people that are not related to you, when
mm-hmm,
it comes to childbirth, especially, they would
mm-hmm.
take care of you. For example, there are several instances of maybe a woman trying to give birth. It's not even her husband that will take her to the hospital.
Right.
For example, I think one of my siblings, maybe my dad was away, and it was our neighbor that drove, or even
Mm,
back my mom to the, I can't even remember the details, but I think one of our neighbor was involved in her getting to the hospital. So that's Africa for you, right?
yeah.
So in that instance where maybe somebody can learn the support, especially giving birth, a woman in another compound can come and say, "Oh, you're just giving birth. I can help you to bath your baby for like the next 1 month," right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of the things when diaspora people are complaining, oh, they miss the African community vibe.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I would say do miss that because
Yeah.
even besides the community, I know my family is very supportive, my extended family especially. And I always imagine that if it was back home, I would have
Mm-hmm.
encouraged that type of care, the presence. Compared to here, people try as well, especially if
Mm-hmm.
you belong to a community where you've grown to be
Yeah.
close over time. Also,
Yeah.
depending on
Mm-hmm.
how long you've been around. Once you get to know people, it works a bit. I think I'm so blessed. While in the hospital, somebody brought a meal, and then after I got back as well, pastor's wife, they brought food again for me. It was
Yeah.
actually pastor's wife that brought food while I was in the hospital as well. And then when I got back home as well, in fact, our situation was quite different because we're doing a lot of things at the same time, and
Mm-hmm.
our community was just there to help us,
Mm,
especially
mm,
in that phase. But
mm,
diaspora now, everybody cannot stay with you. Have to hustle, have to pay
mm-hmm.
bills for
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So genuinely, they will wish they can offer more care and help, right? And that's where, especially after the first week you're giving back, if you're in the diaspora, that's when you start to feel the weight of, I don't have my
Yeah.
African community
Yeah.
tribe. You start to feel. That's when you're
Yeah.
out, and then postpartum is kicking you, especially as the mom, even the dad, because you're waking up in the middle of the night to feed the
Mm-hmm.
baby.
Mm-hmm.
You're if you're doing breast pump, the work with breast pump, you're sterilizing, sterilizing.
Oh my.
Oh my gosh, you're trying to feed yourself as well because you also have to feed because
Yeah.
so
If
you
you
can
want to feed your
breastfeed
baby.
your baby. Yeah, you
Yeah.
also have to feed well. So you're also thinking of the right nutrients of what to eat properly. In the middle of it, trying to sleep. In the middle of it, you're trying to, get your mental space,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everything. I think then when I was watching your videos before giving birth, there was a term that people gave for the first 4 weeks after
Uh,
giving birth. There was a term that if you're able to get through that first 4 weeks, then
mm.
other things you can begin to scale. But
I begin
those
to.
4 weeks, sometimes it could be very hectic. Emotions are high.
Yeah.
Especially the mom.
Your body is going through a lot.
Yeah, if you're probably still in pains. Oh my!
Yes.
But like the first 2 weeks, I think I was still popping pain relief because I
Yeah.
was almost becoming something because I needed it
Mm-hmm.
to was something else. If I
Mm-hmm.
tried to go without the pain relief, oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness, it was so painful. To land this ship, let me just
Yeah.
land this ship, right? Those I'm grateful for the community and the help I got in the first week. Um, yeah, to Jesus be the glory, amen.
Yeah. Amen. Oh boy. I mean, I think what I want to quickly already pick out from what you said first is that context differs for different immigrants. So we are first generation migrants, and there are people who are like second, third generation who have a bit of community. And when we say we are building without our village, it doesn't necessarily mean we don't have some form of community here, but it's just like it's not like home. And our experiences may differ slightly from yours, but we're speaking from our experience, and hopefully it's able to pick a point or two. And I also wanted to pick another point from what you've said to say that even though you're now without your village, it doesn't mean you can build a new village here. And Dorcas talked about it could be like a church community, it could be like a local community, it could be like a club, depending on where you're at, they can come through like they did for Dorcas. And I had some of that too. For instance, with the food, I had that. They literally cooked me different meals and stuffed my fridge, and I was just blessed. I really wanted more when it was over. I was like, because it was actually nice, right? And then they baited for my baby. Because I was a little worried about baiting for my baby, to be honest. I was like, yeah. So they baited for my baby for a few times, and then I could pick up from there. So even though we're without the full village as well, there's still that bit of help when you try to blend in or find a community here where you are. So it's important, I think, is for us to point that out. So thank you, Daka, for sharing that. So I'm just going to continue from that point of building community and all of that. So I'm going to ask you, how do you create those support systems in your new country, and then how are you also able to find trustworthy childcare or support when your family is not available? I mean, you can't literally just say, "Oh, I'm going to drop you off a mom or grandma," So how do you do that? Yeah.
Oh my. Let me start with that point. I want to drop you off with your grandma. I remember one day my husband and I were out with our daughter, and it felt so weird. And we're like, oh, if you see the way we were just behaving, like, oh my God. And that's just because she was in school and we were just free at that moment. And then we saw another couple with their kid, and the baby was making us. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh, she's so cute. So just like waving from afar, like, sorry, we have our own daughter too, but we're here on our. One thing I would say is most times what some people get fixated on, especially people in the diaspora, is your community doesn't necessarily have to be like in the environment where you are. Most times what I've discovered is a lot of friends I've made here, they don't live within the same area where I am. Some are even 2 hours drive away, some are like almost 3 hours drive away. So your community necessarily doesn't have to be like your next neighbor or somebody down the street. I think that's an important thing for diasporas to know. A lot of people will just because, oh, my friends, because we're in Nigeria, my friends were together, we're so close to each other, we could visit ourselves. New reality, sometimes your new friend might not be living very close to you, or somebody that can be considered your tribe. And that's one thing that have helped me. I have friends, some that I even know back home, or even friends I've been introduced to from here that probably are moms as well. Sometimes when I have questions, I'm able to just call them up or chat them.
Yeah.
I've already gone through that phase. Like, for example, when I was trying to look for a good daycare for my daughter, I had to chat to one of my friends. Babe, Alpha, how did you do? So, and she sent me like a website where luckily here you could just check through for daycares close to your area. You could also check their rating. You could check if they still have available sports.
Yeah.
You could check if they are also under the government subsidy program. So that website was helpful for me. One of my friends, she's also staying very far from me, but she's also a mom. She daughter is even very close age to my daughter, but she's a months older. So those things that the stages she has gone through. So your community doesn't necessarily have to be in the same area where you are, as long as people that you can add value to each other, hold them close. And you never know. Sometimes you can also maybe move to their area, or they can move to your area. Yeah, and of course, and that's how you build your own community. You show up for them when they have their event, and they show up for you when you have maybe something to celebrate as well. So that's one thing that has helped me. And of course, meeting new people. I belong to a faith community that is quite big. So I'm able to cross interact with different people as well. And of course, depending on maybe the type of person, if you're not even on a faith journey, it could also be from professional circles as well. Attending conferences or events. It's another way to form their community.
Thank you. I'm picking something from there to say that distance doesn't have to be a barrier, because to be honest, sometimes you're just like, one person is just all the way far, and then you don't check. I think I'm taking that for myself because I know I can do better. Already, I can say that I can do better because, again, sometimes you're so consumed with what's going on within your own life
Yeah.
that you don't feel like, oh, well, because I'm just the one here. But
Mm.
the person that is probably 200 miles, I feel so far, or 20 miles away, or 15 miles, you guys can still add value to each other's lives if you're just like checking in and being intentional. So I picked that from you. This has to not be a barrier, but also be intentional. And then whether you're joining a community around you, I think that those are very, very salient points that you've mentioned. So thank you. Thank you. And I hope someone else is picking this from what you've said. And I can relate to that, so I won't be staying too long there. What I'm going to ask next is, how can we be able to teach them about a home they've never been to, whilst we're here?
Honestly, it's desirable, especially for language, that my kid is able to speak at least a native language back in Nigeria, but
Hmm.
would only try really, because part of how language is built is vocabulary, how much vocabulary
Yeah.
of that language somebody hears, and you're able
Mhm.
to like maybe hear repeatedly and able to
Mhm.
practice with. So the challenge is being exposed to that volume of vocabulary that can
Mhm.
stay. I'm trying. I don't think I'm trying hard enough, at least for
But
now.
you're better. You're more fluent at Yoruba, for instance. We are from Nigeria and the western part of Nigeria.
I am from western part of Nigeria. My husband is not.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh,
Yeah.
so we think that you guys even have it a lot more tricky because I am also from the western part, but you guys are south and west, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's why I said at least one native Nigerian language. But right now, there are some other things that come with speaking language and all that. But I'm trying. And one of my friends, she's very intentional. Only speak Yoruba in their house.
Yeah,
Both
how?
yeah, both her and her husband are both Yoruba. They try
Oh,
to watch
that's
as
that's
many
an interesting
Yoruba
challenge.
programs as much as
Okay,
possible, and
okay,
they speak Yoruba to their kids. So
okay.
yeah, that's the goal too.
Yeah, that's interesting because I'm thinking about it now, and I'm thinking how I want my child to already begin to learn other language. Not already, right? I mean, one thing should be able to learn other languages like French and the likes, and I'm like, have I made that a challenge that is going to also learn Yoruba the same way it's going to learn French or German? I just thought about it that I'm not sure I said that as a challenge, and this should it be something that we should even make a goal. I think it would be nice, really, to have.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I think the only way to maybe achieve it is to make it a goal. So you are able to
Yeah.
maybe build things that
Mhm.
can help you to achieve that goal.
Yeah. I think another aspect you're not looking at is also our food because it's not only language that you can
Yeah.
infuse a child about home. From the foods we cook, if your child already likes like amala, we eat amala back in Nigeria, which is like yam flour.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we can infuse home to them in different ways. Whether it's the food, whether it's the culture, maybe the kind of fabric sometimes we wear, because these are ways to just also say this is where you're from, and then
Mm-hmm.
some programs that we watch. So I think that we should also not beat ourselves too much up, right, in terms of like just language. Language is great, but
Mm-hmm.
other ways that we can infuse our culture, I think that way we can also talk about home to them. All right, before we continue the video, I'm just here to tell you to get ready to order my new book coming soon titled Flourishing and Graceful. It is a book for intentional parents who want to pray right, cover their children right, has affirmations, you can journal and all the good stuff. So get ready to order. But while you wait to order, you can already get access to a bit of the book, which I call the Praying Parent Toolkit. Access it using the link in the description bio. All right, we're going to be wrapping up pretty soon.
Okay.
But I'm going to ask if you're going to give a piece of advice to a mom considering moving on, what to be thinking of in terms of like raising a child in a diaspora, what are you going to say? Maybe one advice, maybe two.
Hmm. Not to just overcomplicate it, I'll just say everything is figureoutable. Like you'll figure it out. I know one of the things I used to be so worried about was, oh, how is it going to work? The
Mm,
schedule, how are we going to do it with childcare and all of this, picking up child from daycare, everything, but it will work out. One of my friends too, that sometimes I'm even so worried, super worried on her behalf because she has an older kid and has another baby. I'm so worried because education system for babies is different from
Yeah.
children that are older than infants and toddlers. I think the challenge is establishing that reading. It might
Reading
be
that word.
at first. There might be a lot of learning points, a lot of curves and all that. But once you figure it out,
You're
continue to
gonna be all right.
yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, this is not to undermine the amount of effort that is going to go into you figuring it out, to be honest, because everyone is going to have a different route to figuring it out. But I
absolutely.
think what doctors are saying that we need to pick from here is you have to have the mindset that it's going to work,
Yeah.
right? You have to have the mindset that this has to work, and of course, then you're going to infuse faith, and because we are people of faith,
Mhm.
so yeah, adding
Yeah.
prayer to say, yeah, it's got to make it work. But also, I'll have that understand the realities of where you're going to.
Mm-hmm.
If you're
Mm-hmm.
relocating to say, oh, where am I going to? What city? Is it child friendly? There's schools, and you need to understand the dynamics of where you're going to be able to influence how you're going to, check the stats. What is it like raising up kids in that city? So it's also good to do your research, and then pray and let God lead you. Yes, like Doctor said, you're going to figure it out. It may not be easy, it may not be smooth, but there's always a way.
Yeah.
And yes, you'll find a way.
Ask questions from other
Yeah.
moms. Ask
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
also
Mm-hmm.
resources. Most times, thankfully, in the diaspora, many communities have resource centers.
Yeah.
You can always like maybe go to those community centers to ask questions to
Mm-hmm.
know especially what opportunities are available for you,
Sure. Sure.
given your status or whatever the case.
All right. Do you have any questions for me? So I'm turning it around. One, just one, or
Um,
anything you want to share.
let me think of a question. What has been the most impactful moment for you in motherhood? Just like
Okay.
a defining moment, something like this was a moment.
Okay. So interestingly, when I had my baby, one of the things the devil was trying to do was attack my mindset. And
Oh,
it was serious that one of those moments felt like my baby's not going to see day 10. It was a thing going on in my head, and I was like, no. And because you're going through a lot, my faith was not that strong. I don't know how to explain, but I was like, no, that's not gonna happen. So the moment my baby hit day 10, like, oh duh.
who did that? Jesus. Oh my
How
God.
dare you? So that sort of built so of course I'm a person of faith, but it just sort of reinforced
Before.
my faith. And
Mm,
whenever the devil wanted to, I mean, he can't do it again by God's grace, but whenever the devil wanted to say another lie, and I think it was a form of almost, I don't think it was postpartum depression, but it was a form of it where different thoughts and ideas were coming to my head. Next time another one will try to go like, nah, not here. So for me, I think being able to overcome that was significant. And I think another thing that motherhood has done to me is just to appreciate God's love a lot more.
yeah.
And so one of the times when my baby had his first haircut, his face changed, not in a bad way, but in a
Yeah.
different way. And I'm like, oh, you're so okay. I still love you. I'm so happy. And I'm like, wait, I'm going through different things in my life, and God must just be looking. I'm like, I still like you this much. I love you. I'm like, oh, God loves us. Yeah,
Yeah.
different things. So it just makes the love of God feels more vivid.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Very beautiful story and experience. And just to touch a little bit on postpartum, especially since we're talking about motherhood, and shine a little bit of light on that area. There are a lot of things ingrained in it. It's a fight against self-doubt as a woman. You're telling yourself, oh, I can do this. It's like two things fighting your head. Oh, am I able to do this? Can I do this? Can I care for this child as much as possible? You have your own fears you're fighting against. So it's a lot of different things going on in the head of a mother.
Mhm.
It's beyond you just recovering yourself. It's beyond you just fighting what your body used to be versus what it is now. It's a combination of many things. And if there's any message I'd like to drop for anyone watching this as well, especially if you're not a woman, you're a dad, shout out to all the dads that
Mhm.
always support. And even maybe people that are not immediate parent of a newborn. is just to be a bit kinder to a pregnant mom or a mom that's just given birth, or even any mom in general,
Yeah.
because they are also fighting a lot of things in their head
Yeah.
beyond what you can just see on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, maybe not daily, they are telling themselves they can do this and
Yeah.
putting in the effort
Yeah.
on that motherhood journey. So
Mhm.
the only thing you can do for them is just to be kinder to them
Yeah.
and offer reassurances where you can. Don't be the don't be the person amplifying the negative thoughts.
Yeah.
They're already pulling themselves down and just trying to overcome it. Don't be the one amplifying it and putting again in their face that,
Yeah.
oh, you're not doing this right. This is how you should be doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even when you're offering advice, do it with kindness and empathy.
Yeah. That's so important.
Yeah.
Also, that's so Ducky. Ducky is sweet. Ducky is kind. And thank you. Thank you for infusing you into this. I mean, thank you for infusing into this conversation, because I'm not going to drag this further, but that kindness, put it there. All right. So tell us where people can connect with you. And definitely we'll be putting this in the description. Tell us about all of that stuff.
Yeah, you can find me on almost all social media. I'm on LinkedIn as Dorcas Akinlade.
Okay.
On Instagram, I'm Ducky Wonder. That's my personal page. Mostly, I share aesthetic things that make people think I have it all together. If you want to see the more silly or goofy me, that's on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I think it's also Ducky Wonder at the moment. Yeah, and also about finance management, which is Money Bigo, where I give advice on finance management, your budgeting, savings, and all those good stuff just for you to have a good finance balance. You
Mhm.
can find that on Instagram at Money Bigo as well.
Yeah. Okay. And then she has a shop, Dainty Gift Shop.
Yes.
Sells all things craft, beautiful,
Patronize me.
beautiful work. So patronize Dorcas. And hasn't this been such a heartful and beautiful conversation? For me, yes, because definitely it's not just unscripted, but there was also catch up.
Yeah, honestly.
So we're
I
happy.
was telling Esther earlier that sorry you guys, it's a bit of a gisting session, but
Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah,
we did talk the talk. We did talk
yeah.
the
We
talk as
did
well.
talk the talk. We shared value. And
Yeah.
if you watch this and something resonated with you, definitely leave it in the comment. If you're a mom in the diaspora, or a parent in the diaspora watching this, tell us what your experience has been, what has worked for you. Share a tip in the comments for someone else to watch. If you're looking to relocate and you're wondering if it's worth it, I mean, the care study is going to work out. Everything is figure outable.
There is
Yeah.
actually a book for that, actually.
Oh, really? You see, I
Yeah.
didn't even know that. I was going to steal the word, but it's already there. Okay. No, wahala.
No, but
No,
you could also use it. I think there's more than one variant of that title too.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll check it out. I like it. All right. But tell us in the comment section if you've liked watching this and you watched it to this point. Give it a like, share with someone, subscribe. I mean, I'm saying all that now. I'm giving YouTuber vibes.
They have to. There's so much value here. So please
Yeah.
subscribe, support my girl,
Yes.
please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for, coming and watching this episode on Scripted Motherhood, here on Heart to Heart with Attitude. And till our next episode, the kid's coming again. She's coming again. We're going to be having a sweet talk.
If you guys want me to come again, please mention this in the comment section. Please let
Yes.
Esther bring me back. Please.
Yes. Please, do, because
Please.
there's something you need to come and tell us about.
No, if they did comment, I don't think I should bring back.
Hey God, please comment. I want the kid to come back. I want the kid to come back. So you tell us, say, Ducky, come back. We want you back. Yeah. So thank you everybody for watching this. We had fun recording this. I hope you have fun watching this as much as we did. Even if you're not a parent, the joy from this episode, I hope it gives you a bit of joy, And thank you again. So we'll come your way next time. God bless you.
Amen. Bye.